Hello everyone, this is Professor Hill. This is a short video for our class, Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 at St. Philip's College. This is the online Summer 1 version. Today's Wednesday, July the 3rd, 2019. And we have an assignment that's due tonight. This is week 4 of our 5-week course. And it turns out we have an assignment due tonight, and then again Sunday night, and that'll be the end of the essays in the discussion. At that point, all we'll have left is the final exam, which is already posted, and it's due a week from today, Wednesday, July the 10th, 2019. So that's our schedule, and I just want to make a quick comment about the discussion, the case study we're using for tonight. And it turns out that we've been looking at international humanitarian law. I said all the materials that you needed for that were in the modules, and that there were links from there to other sources, especially with the International Committee of the Red Cross, that you could learn more about IHL, International Humanitarian Law, if you wanted to, but there was enough in the module to help you analyze the case study for tonight. This is the case of Baha Musa. It turns out that there's an important aspect of this that I want to mention, which is when you're analyzing this case, we've been looking at sources of authority, whether that's a legal one, like the military code that governs these soldiers. Again, these are not American soldiers. But just like American soldiers, which are governed by the Uniform Code of Military Justice, soldiers in the Army for the United Kingdom also have their own code. There's international law that applies, like international humanitarian law, and that set of rules from the Geneva Conventions and other sources of authority there. And of course, there's ethical ones as well. And we want to talk about what's a source of authority in terms of ethics, in terms of morality. Now, that's at play at situations like this, and I want you to think about how this case might be tied back to the John the paramedic case that we looked at. And the connection there is not just that it's kind of a medical ethics. There's a doctor involved at the heart of this case about Baha Musa. And the question about treat or not treat and why and do you report. But there's also this kind of theme that's running through in terms of vigilantism. And there were some people who defended John the paramedic and said, look, what he did might have been technically wrong according to some applied ethics, some code that paramedics have to follow. But I think because the guy was so bad that what he did was justified. And that guy was a terrible guy, and so, he got what he deserved. And John did the right thing because that guy was so terrible. And the problem with that type of thinking, which is what they call self-help, which is acting outside of the law for what you think are justifiable reasons in terms of ethics or morality, even though you know it's against the law. There's lots of problems with that, not least of which is one that we see in the case with Baha Musa, which is that these guys clearly go over the line from interrogation, distressed interrogation, to torture because they're motivated to get answers about what happened to their comrade. And yet, the evidence has all been circumstantial. The arms at the hotel where Baha Musa worked, all the rest of it, they were related to some insurgents, but he wasn't one of them. We find out at the end of the story that he's actually innocent and that he was not involved and that he's been not just illegally and unethically tortured, but it's for naught because it turns out he was not guilty. And even though this question that runs that, which is even if let's say he had been guilty, does that justify the torture and the killing of Baha Musa? These are the kind of questions that we need to wrestle with in ethics. And I want you to think through the different sources of authority. So state what you think, yes or no, good or bad, right or wrong. But then also, what are your reasons and what are the sources of authority behind that? So focus on that. If you got questions, as always, let me know. Take care. Bye-bye.